going to make some chips today, and they're going to be good. But first of all, I need to get ready, and I need to put on this shirt, and I need to wet my hair, because if you don't do that, the electrolytes in the grease in the keratin in your hair can affect the flavor of the food, and you can't have that. So I'm sufficiently doused now, and I can begin making chips. The first thing is that I need the potatoes, and I have to get them washed. So I have to wash them. I'm gonna wash them now. That's probably too much. This is one that I just washed there now. It's okay, and I'm not gonna take the skin off it, and if there are lots of potatoes here, but I think there are too many potatoes here, so I'm only going to use a few of the potatoes. So here's a saucepan thing, and I have to put water in it because we have to boil stuff, but it'll take a while to boil stuff, so I have to start it now. I need to put water in this. What this needs as well is some salt. I can get that from up here. Just 1 minute, the salt has moved. Now, we don't have to boil this. It doesn't have to be boiled, but we have to simmer it or something, and it needs salt. Now you can get salt from your local shop or your local salt cellar, but I'm going to get it from this salt shaker that I found on the table over there. I think personally the big sea salt is better because it's thicker and there's more salt in it. I'm going to use a very sharp knife for this. Very sharp knife. I think it's a fillet knife. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting these potatoes into bits. Little tiny bits of potatoes. The one thing that you need to make sure is that all the bits are the same size. And eventually you'll have lots of chips that look like that. So what a lot of very popular chefs do on TV is they get some tape and they put the tape on their fingers like this. I don't know what it does, but I'm guessing the more tape the better. So this tape thing, it's very hard to actually get used to it, but all things are very hard to get used to if they're expert stuff. So right now we have this thing and it's doing the boily stuff. So I have my chips over here and I'm gonna put my chips in the boily stuff, and then as soon as the chips go in I have to take the boil off this stuff. These are two different things. This is a spoon and this is a fork. Science tells us that this one's more aerodynamic because it's got more holes in it and it's got less surface area. And although you might think that stuff should be mixed with a spoon, as is in all the fairy tales, it should be mixed with a fork because it's more aerodynamic. And you lucky viewers don't get to have to wait until this is done, because that would be boring. This is a thing that has lots of holes in it, and when you put wet things in here, the things stay, but the wet goes. And we're going to be using this to get the wet off the chips when they're finished boiling, because we have to chill them for a bit in the fridge. This is a chip that I've just taken out of the pot here. I should turn it down. There's a bit out of the chip here, and that means that they're going flaky. Now we want the flakiness, but if it goes too flaky it will crumble and it won't be chips, it will be potato mashed. Now it's time to use the thing. Watch very carefully. You see the wet is coming off the chips. Wet. If you look at some of the chips, they are beginning to be fluffy, and that's good. That's what we want to boil them for. So we have to chill this. And I came up with this really brilliant idea where I can chill the chips, but the stuff in my fridge won't get wet by putting this kitchen towel stuff underneath it, so it will absorb the water. And we leave it there for a little while. Right now I'm using rapeseed oil because it's my understanding that the funnier the name of the oil, the tastier the food is. This is a pot that we're going to use to cook the chips in, and the way it is that there is some oil in it already, and this oil is old oil. There's some bits in it, and the bits actually, it's like a kind of homeopathic. They take some of the flavor from the last food and they give it into the new food. So I'm giving it, this is in memory of the old food, but we need more oil, so it's only a bit of a memory. This thing here is called a fan, and when I open it, you see it looks like a cupboard, but when I open it, it's not a cupboard, it's a fan. And sometimes it's very scary, but you have to use it when you're cooking. Sometimes on occasion, your shoelaces will become untied. And if this happens while cooking, it's very important that you fix the problem. There are two ways of fixing the problem. Way one is to do a very complex knotty thing, and way two is to remove the shoe. And I think it's far better if the shoe is just removed, because then it removes the problem associated with it. Now we have finished the chilling process of the chips, and they should begin to be cooked now. So you can put the chips in the oil. Now we're going to apply the stirring technique we learned earlier. But this is a very special spoon. It is like a hybrid of a spoon and a fork. It should probably be called a spork. It has holes in it that make it aerodynamic like a fork. So here we can apply the same stirring technique that we learned in a previous chapter. This is a technique I use to chill my Fanta. If you can get this kind of setup going, it rotates the Fanta and it cools it much more efficiently than any other way. So the chips are nearly done now, so there's one more thing you can do before the chips are done. You use the plate. Now, what you can do is you can use a black plate or you can use a white plate. But I use a black plate because if you've ever seen in Arab countries people wear black clothes when it's hot, that's because it goes best with each other. It's a good combination, black stuff and hot stuff. And chips are going to be hot when they come out of there. And white on a white plate, it's not as good. Okay, so it's time to remove the chips. Now, it's scientifically proven that if you put salt on chips that are greasy, they'll get less greasy. And they will get less greasy. It is a good idea whenever you're finished making chips that you stop cooking. So that is now set to stop cook, and you can move this over here. Now this stuff here, that is known as gack, and gack happens. And to get rid of gack, I don't know, I guess. So I hope you like my guide to making really good chips. They're really good.